Now at 9, Hurricane Lee howling north, eyeing the coast and the Cape.
We're watching the potential for storm surge and flooding.
Coastal communities bracing for impact.
Better safe than sorry, so that's what we're doing.
Already feeling the effects here on the Cape.
Water worries here on the South Shore, too. We've got night team.
Now at 9, Hurricane Lee howling north, eyeing the coast and the Cape.
We're watching the potential for storm surge and flooding.
Coastal communities bracing for impact.
Better safe than sorry, so that's what we're doing.
Already feeling the effects here on the Cape.
Water worries here on the South Shore, too. We've got night team coverage.
Also, a massive fire tears through a junkyard in Billerica. Stubborn flames spreading fast. Crews spending hours battling the blaze.
And the Patriots set for a Sunday night showdown. How New England's planning to slow down the Dolphins' high-powered offense.
7 News at 9 starts now. Tonight at 9, Lee is lurking and packing a punch.
This is something very powerful.
Hope for the best, but we always have to prepare for the worst.
New England on track for tropical trouble.
And we are tracking Hurricane Lee, taking a live look right now at downtown Nantucket, where the trees are shaking from the wind tonight. That storm now about 300 miles southeast of that island. And here's a look at the conditions on the Cape Cod Canal right now in Bourne. The Cape expected to bear the brunt of Lee's power. And right now, the storm is clocking in as a Category 1 hurricane with wind gusts up to 100 miles per hour.
Massachusetts could feel the strongest part of the storm beginning at midnight and lasting through the morning tomorrow. Many houses on coastal communities boarded up to brace for impact. Homeowners along the water in Situate not taking any chances. And it was surfs up today in Nahant. As they started feeling the effects of Lee, people decided to get out there and enjoy the waves. But the warning is out now. Do not go in the water tonight or tomorrow. From how cities and towns in the storm's path are getting ready to weather the worst of it, to Lee's latest tracking timeline, we have night team coverage, and we'll begin with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Reiner.
All right, here is Lee right here, tracking it now for a better part of the week, and makes its closest pass to New England overnight tonight and certainly tomorrow morning. That offshore track remains locked in. If this is your first newscast of the day, no significant change to the overall philosophy of the storm. It's a glancing blow along the coastline with the highest impacts Cape as well as Nantucket. And that timeline late tonight, just after midnight tonight, up until about noon tomorrow. I think that's the brunt of the effects from the sideswipe of the storm. But for some locations, it'll peel out even earlier than that. It'll shut down quickly mid-morning tomorrow. Here is the latest advisory as of 8 o'clock this evening. Winds at 80 miles per hour. Category 1 storm moving north-northeast at 20 miles per hour. And that will continue on that trajectory for the next 12 to 18 hours. Here we are at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's still a Category 1 hurricane. And then it will transition and weaken to a high-end tropical storm mid-afternoon tomorrow as it makes landfall near Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, and then continue across Nova Scotia through the Bay of Fundy, weakening into an extratropical cyclone. Doppler radar showing the western edge of the hurricane, the deeper shades of green, the yellow, and the red. Those are some of those outer feeder bands which have been marching north and west for the last several hours. However, there is also a fair amount of dry air in place in southern New England tonight, so that has been fending off the rapid advancement of that feeder band. But eventually it will start to come onto Nantucket as well as the Cape over the next 2 to 4 hours. Winds at this time gusting between 25 and almost 45 miles per hour. But you notice north of the Pike, you have a breeze, but not much gusting to the wind. Radar for tomorrow morning, future radar showing the activity is displaced west of the center of the storm. That's why we will have the effects here in coastal New England. So in terms of the rain, Futurecast shows rain getting into Metro Boston about 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And I think that's about as far west as it's going to get. That dry air will hold firm. And eventually it'll start to beat back and shove the rain band out to sea quickly, late morning and lunchtime. Even on the Cape, the rain will be out. And then we will likely see a little bit of developing sunshine mid-afternoon tomorrow. How much rain is on the way? Just a few spotty showers tomorrow morning for a lot of us on the 95 corridor. Even less than that back into Metro West 495 and into the Worcester Hills. And I think between 1 and 2 inches of rain likely on the Cape as well as Nantucket. But we are talking about wind damage and coastal flooding. And for more on that, Here's meteorologist Josh Worcester.
And that wind slowly picks up as Hurricane Lee continues to pick up off toward the north as well. Really, it's after midnight tonight when the really strong winds start to take over into early tomorrow morning. Really about sunrise is when Hurricane Lee will make its closest pass to Cape Cod. And that's when the wind will be the strongest. So this is Saturday morning wind gusts, mid to outer Cape, 50 to 60 miles an hour. Nantucket, you're in there as well. And these areas could even see an isolated wind gust over 60 miles an hour. For most of us on the coastline, it is 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, and then you go west of Boston, west of 128, and it's 20 to 40 through the day. Now, while the peak wind gusts are likely into early Saturday morning in these locations, in the yellow shading, it might actually be in the afternoon where the second push of wind comes in as the wind gets wrapped in on the backside of Hurricane Lee as it picks up away from us into the afternoon tomorrow. So with that strong wind, probably going to deal with some power outages for a couple reasons. One, the wind is just strong, especially on the coastline, where we could see the wind gusts over 50 and in some cases, mainly the outer Cape, over 60 miles an hour. So some scattered power outages there. For the rest of us, though, still isolated because it's not like January when we have a firm, solid, frozen ground and no leaves on the trees. It's in fact quite the opposite. The trees are full of leaves, which slows down the wind and kind of catches on the wind as the wind tries to pass through, and the ground is completely saturated. Not only has it been wet as of late, but it has been in a wet summer. So those two combined probably going to lead to a little bit more tree damage than what we would typically get with the wind gusts that we're forecasting. There's also the risk of some coastal flooding, mainly across the Cape and Nantucket. You pay attention to the direction of the wind, generally from the north, which will help pile up the water into Cape Cod Bay. We're looking at minor to pockets of moderate coastal flooding there. So it's a mix of that push of water, the storm surge, combined with, during high tide especially, some very rough surf and some large waves. The high tide cycles we're concerned about, primarily the overnight one tonight, which is 1 a.m., though we'll also keep an eye on the 1 p.m. high tide tomorrow. For the lighter green here, which is the rest of the coastline of Massachusetts, it's generally just some splash over and minor coastal flooding. Waves still not bad, below 10 feet, but you get closer to the storm itself, and those waves and the wave heights really pick up. And that will continue to be the case as Lee passes off to the north. A couple farther out buoys, you can see wind gusts over 40. This one here reporting 60 mile per hour gusts with wave heights of 20 feet. And the forecast for the wave heights going forward into the day tomorrow on the national seashore especially could get close to 30 feet in spots. So certainly it will be rough on the water tomorrow.
Definitely, we're seeing whipping winds picking up along the water tonight. Flags blowing hard in those big gusts. Our night team coverage continues. There's Steve Cooper live in Orleans. Coop.
All right, Kim, so for residents here on the Cape tonight and also tourists alike, many are beginning to hunker down as the winds begin to intensify. A lot of people were out earlier today. Well, today, that was one thing. Tonight, it's a whole different story. You look behind us here. This is Town Cove, and you can see there is one boat still on a mooring here. We'll see how long that lasts, especially as the winds begin to pick up overnight. And we're talking about a storm surge and now concerns about flooding as that water rushes over the edge.
Take precautions. Don't be crazy. Certainly don't go in the water.
As day turned to night on Cape Cod, signs of the storm only intensified around here. Signs that were a sight to see for those who couldn't resist hitting Nauset Beach in Orleans.
The sand hurts.
The sand hurts.
Yeah. It's really blowing hard out here. So, but it's beautiful.
People just have to be safe.
Absolutely.
No bread.
No bread.
For the storm?
No.
You'll be okay.
I'm all set. Thank you.
The bread and the milk, you're okay.
Yep, good.
Earlier Friday, it was madness at the market with registers ringing through the day. Eager shoppers snagging all the storm essentials.
And as far as the madness in the store?
Crazy. That place is nuts in there.
All eyes on the strong winds that began blanketing the Cape Friday afternoon. All eyes also on the angry ocean, churning up those waves of water. And all eyes on power lines, too. The governor already declaring a state of emergency, activating 50 National Guardsmen to assist with storm preparations.
We feel we're prepared across the Commonwealth. We certainly hope for the best, but we always have to prepare for the worst.
With most boats out of the water at this point, word around here from everyone is use common sense.
What are you doing to sort of...
I have everything in the house that I need, and if I lose power, I'm prepared to go with what we've got.
And right now you can see there is power here. The lights are on, but take a look at the deck. There is no deck furniture out here. Everything that was outside has now been brought inside. And again, the concern is for that high tide about 1 o'clock this morning around here and then get tomorrow as well. So a couple of real concerns here for some coastal flooding and also to make sure boats that are still in the water stay in the water. And again, those crews, the power crews, are spread out across the Cape and they're ready to get to work if the power does in fact go out around here. We're live in Orleans tonight. Steve Cooper, 7 News 19.
And the Coast Guard out of Cape Cod headed to the waters off New York's Long Island to make a save today. Take a look here. 2 boaters were out on a 20-foot sailboat when things got a little to be more than they could handle out there. Both had to be lifted into the helicopter, brought to safety. They're both okay tonight. In rough water, turning up trouble here in Scituate. Sky 7 flying over that area where strong waves have been crashing the coast there all evening long. Flooding from storm surge is, of course, the biggest threat for communities near the water. The night team is on the South Shore with more. Michael Yoshida live in Marshfield.
And at this point, the prep work done here in Marshfield. Those who want to take their boats out of the water, they've gotten that taken care of. Those who want to take care of the lawn furniture, that's been also taken inside as people are just now waiting for the effects of Hurricane Lee to arrive. Friday night, young and old in Marshfield taking in the windy weather and wild waves.
Just coming out to check it out before the storm and enjoy the windy weather.
I love it. I really do. I just moved here, and I just seeing the ocean and the power and the intensity is just awesome.
The full effects of Hurricane Lee now just hours away, when conditions on the coast could take a turn for the worse.
It's going to be pretty rough, I would say.
Ocean's always interesting. Monday it was calm as can be, beautiful out here. And now you can see what it looks like.
Over the last few days, people have been preparing along the South Shore, getting boats out of the water and making sure areas close to the water are ready for whatever the storm brings.
Putting chairs away, stocking up on food, making sure I have food and stuff for my grandkids.
Just locked up some chairs and, cleaned up the yard a little bit for things that might blow. But other than that, I think it's going to be good.
A September storm that has local officials warning of high winds, rain, and possible coastal flooding and power outages.
Just another day in the neighborhood. I mean, it's not, been through a lot worse.
Tropical storm party, because why not? Embrace it.
Hunker down. I mean, get ready for the storm. I mean, expect the unexpected, because you never know what's going to happen in New England.
So again, officials here warning and reminding people to be aware of that possible coastal flooding, especially around those high tide times. Also telling people to be aware of possible power lines or trees getting saturated with water. Again, also asking people to stay away from the seawalls in the overnight and morning hours. We're live in Marshfield tonight. Mike Yoshida, 7 News 19.
And there is concern on the North Shore, too. People living there doing what they can to get ready. The night team Samantha York joins us live tonight from Gloucester with what preparations are going on up there.
Well, the wind's really been picking up here in Gloucester, and people say they are bringing in their boats, they're bringing in their patio furniture, and they say they are ready for what is coming. It's the calm before the storm on the North Shore.
We got a few more things to take down so they don't blow away.
Dan and Linda Danish making the most of the windy weather Friday evening, flying a kite before getting ready for Hurricane Lee's arrival.
Make sure all the windows are closed, obviously, but anything on the porch just becomes a flying missile.
Storm preps are par for the course for their neighborhood in Gloucester, which usually sees flooding and heavy winds with big storms.
If it was coming a little bit closer, it might have made a difference, but we can guarantee the waves are going to come up higher and then pick up the wind.
Nick Arcari and Will Petrillo taking advantage of the surf from the approaching storm.
Just taking a dip. It's actually warmer in the ocean right now than it is out here.
They're ready to ride it out once it hits.
We did batten down the hatches on the boat today, so a lot of people are taking their boats out of the water.
People soaking up the last sunset hours before Hurricane Lee storms the shore. Now here on the North Shore, 1 to 3 foot storm surges are expected overnight into tomorrow. Reporting live in Gloucester, I'm Samantha York, 7 News 19.
Parts of the Upper Cape also worried about water doing damage in their neighborhoods. Night Team's Jonathan Hall with more from Sandwich.
How you feeling about the storm and everything?
It doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad.
In Sandwich, Annette Damasio was getting some help from her brother to safeguard property ahead of the storm.
Just helping her get some stuff off so it doesn't blow away, and not expecting
anything big out of this one.
And William Ferretti, a proud retired Marine, was getting some help from his son. They decided to get Dad's powerboat named Semper Fi out of the water.
The harbor master called and said he suggested we get it out. Better safe than sorry, so that's what we're doing.
You're a good son to help out.
Yeah, I do what I can. He was good to me growing up, so I need to repay the favors.
There are plenty of boats still sitting in their slips at the local marina. The harbor master says owners should add another line if they keep them there, put out extra fenders, and keep the bow into the wind if at a mooring.
So we'll be closing our beach gates. We do pre-storm photographs in case there's a response needed afterwards, and we've got that in place already, and we'll be out immediately after the storm to assess any damage.
As the winds pick up, some people consider that an opportunity for recreation. Town officials keeping a close eye on the forecast, and they're hoping they will dodge a bullet tomorrow.
We've been in communication with MEMA along with our emergency response team since Wednesday afternoon.
Sandwich officials are expecting some flashover as the night goes on and into tomorrow, and low-lying areas could flood. The residents who live in those areas know who they are, and they're getting ready. In Sandwich, Jonathan Hall, 7 News 19.
With Hurricane Lee inching closer to New England, FEMA is urging people to prepare for the storm. The agency setting up a base at Westover Air Reserve Base in western Massachusetts. A FEMA official said they chose Westover because it's about 500 miles outside the area that could possibly be impacted here, but it's still close enough so that trucks can respond within the day. At least 35 trucks are expected to arrive carrying water, tarps, food, blankets, and other supplies, and FEMA will decide where exactly to send the trucks in the next couple of days.
Complacency definitely cannot happen here. We want people to be prepared and hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And the only way that happens is if they're getting the alerts on time, they're listening for evacuation warnings, they know where shelters are if they have to evacuate.
And FEMA says they are ready to respond to communities from here to Maine if need be. And we have more coverage on Hurricane Lee ahead here at 9 o'clock. Coming up, a service shift for ferries on the Vineyard and Cape, details on the disruptions and how people are dealing with those changes. And a reminder, when you wake up in the morning, turn to 7 News Today New England. We're going to be on starting at 7 a.m. with the latest on the storm.
And we are following more news tonight. A junkyard fire burning for hours in Billerica. Sky 7 flying over the intense inferno. We're learning tonight a torch sparked those fast-moving flames. The night team's Grant Herms live in Billerica with this new information. Grant.
You know, the biggest issue here in Billerica was getting water to the fire. It happened about a third of a mile from where I'm standing right now, but the closest fire hydrant is down here. So the fire department had to hook up a lot of hoses just to get the water up to that fire, and that cost precious time as this junkyard burned. Thick black smoke darkening the skies over Billerica. A junkyard at Town Farm Lane and Billerica Avenue catching fire around 3 o'clock, starting a dangerous blaze. Hundreds of junked cars packed in and on fire. Investigators are calling the fire an accident, saying it was caused by a torch used on one of those cars. The flames pouring out of the back of a large steel building as from Sky 7 you can see flashes from small explosions. The Billerica fire chief says the building was filled with flammable chemicals.
It's where they took parts off of vehicles. There were propane tanks in the building. There's gasoline, oil in all of these vehicles.
Witnesses say the explosions coming from the fire were terrifying.
But just pops and bangs from the fire raging. You don't know what's going on. That's what we all thought. Maybe there could have been, some chemicals or a lot of different, burns, explosions. So it definitely was scary.
Authorities say one man was severely injured. He was found outside the burning building when first responders first arrived and was taken to the hospital. The Billerica Fire Department says it took them longer than expected to put out the flames because there wasn't a hydrant nearby. The closest was 1,800 feet away. And once they finally did hook up, a hose burst, slowing down their progress even more.
There's so much debris in an area like this. Trying to drag the hose lines across any kind of the metal or the vehicles that are there, it's always challenging.
Now, firefighters were out here knocking down hot spots well into the evening. In fact, we just saw the last of those trucks leave, so they must have taken care of any of those hot spots, and this road here is now back open. In Billerica tonight, Grant Herms, 7 News 19.
Sky 7 over Dorchester, where a tree made a dangerous drop. Look at that massive tree that came down, no warning at all, and it landed right in front of a house on Ballou Avenue. Happened around 10 o'clock in the morning. The tree took down wires and a number of poles, knocking out power in the area. Neighbors say it was a shock.
My wife and I had just come from Dallas, and we parked the car, and we went in the house, and we heard a big boom.
The good part about it is it's not 90 degrees and we're not sweating to death.
Utility companies working all day, making repairs, trying to get power and other services back online.
Also from the night team, the man charged in connection with the dangerous dragging of a state trooper in court today. Derek Lobo is facing several charges, including assault and battery on a police officer. The judge deciding to hold him without bail. Lobo is charged in connection with this incident on Wednesday evening. A state trooper was dragged during a traffic stop. This is from a state police dash camera. Troopers say Lobo was behind the wheel and just took off, leading police on a chase that hit speeds at 80 miles an hour. The state trooper was not seriously hurt.
Now from the night team, this is the first weekend that weekend closures begin. In just a couple of hours, the Sumner Tunnel will be shut down. We had the summer-long shutdown, but the restoration project is moving into its next phase. It's being shut down on weekends again. The tunnel will close around 11. It'll reopen no later than 5 a.m. on Monday. This is the first weekend shutdown since the 2-month-long closure. 8 more weekend closures are planned for the rest of 2023. Crews will continue to work on the tunnel ceiling, the roads, the walls, and the lighting. The city is planning on another 2-month shutdown next summer.
The night team now to a massive strike against U.S. automakers. Thousands of workers walking off the job at midnight last night, demanding a better deal. Production at several major assembly plants now screeching to a halt, and it's just a matter of time until consumers feel the effects. As the clock strikes midnight, workers walk off the job at the Ford assembly plant in Wayne, Michigan, a GM plant in Missouri, and the Stellantis assembly plant in Toledo, Ohio. These are targeted strikes designed to hit profit centers at all 3 automakers.
This strategy will keep the companies guessing, and if we need to go all out, we will.
Part of the United Auto Workers Union demands include an immediate 20% raise, followed by 4 additional raises of 5% a year, restoring cost of living increases, and retirement health care coverage for all hires.
I'm not greedy. I just want to make sure that my family is provided for and make sure that we can eat, bills paid.
So far, Ford has offered a wage increase of 20% during the life of the contract, which the company called generous. GM also offering a 20% increase, and Stellantis offered a 17.5% increase.
I'm very frustrated because I think we had an offer that resonates with our people.
President Joe Biden backed the UAW on Friday, sending senior advisor Gene Sperling and Deputy Secretary of Labor Julie Su to Detroit to assist with negotiations.
Bottom line is that auto workers help create America's middle class. They deserve a contract that sustains them in the middle class.
Analysts say if the strike goes on for 10 days, it could impact the production of up to 25,000 vehicles.
New details in the Hollywood writers' strike. Talks between the Writers Guild of America and the major studios could resume next week. The Writers Guild reached out to the studios on Wednesday, requesting a return to the bargaining table. The two sides have been at a stalemate since May. This strike, one of the longest in the history of the Writers Guild.
And we have much more here on 7 News at 9 o'clock. We're tracking Hurricane Lee and those boats right there, that warning with the storm hitting soon. Here's JR.
Yeah, Lee will make its closest pass to New England early tomorrow morning. A glancing blow along coastal New England. More on the impacts in the Sunday forecast as well.
Hey teachers, you may love Cami because it makes learning accessible for everyone. I love it because I feel like I fit in.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may
cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. I'm making my own way forward. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories. But I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
The Patriots preparing for the tough test here for the Dolphins. Miami's offensive exploded there for a big win in week 1, but it's the first divisional game for New England this season.
And it's primetime Sunday night. Night Team's Trey Dare here in our newsroom with more on the Pats.
Well, close, but just not quite good enough. That would define the Mac Jones era so far for the Patriots. Winning enough games to be competitive, but not winning the games whenever the stakes are at their highest. Pretty big platform coming up this weekend with the Pats facing the Dolphins, hoping to avoid their first 0-2 start in 22 years.
They have a good front. Strong, big, strong, disruptive front. Hard to block.
Bill Belichick and the Patriots preparing for a talented Dolphins team that seems to have their number in recent years. Miami's defense did give up 433 yards of offense to the Chargers last week. Yet Belichick knows Dolphins defensive coordinator Vic Fangio is more than capable of finding ways to improve.
Vic's an experienced coordinator, and, I'm sure if he sees something or gets a feel for something or just wants to mix it up or whatever, then, he's going to call it.
6 Patriots are listed as questionable for Sunday's game, a group that includes 3 members of the starting offensive line. Juju Smith-Schuster not listed, despite reports his surgically repaired knee is less than 100%. Juju himself telling everyone exactly how he feels.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's 100%. I've been working on it every day. It's nice, being here and, finding a nice routine of getting it stronger every single day to go out there to perform.
The Pats could be without cornerback Jonathan Jones for Sunday as he is dealing with an ankle injury. Rookie Christian Gonzalez says the team is not lacking in confidence heading into a major challenge of trying to slow down the NFL's most explosive receiving tandem in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle.
All we do is, we play together. Just whoever's going to be out there, we're all going to go and just do what we got to do. Like I was talking about the game plan. Just, everybody's ready to go, and we're excited.
And the Dolphins are very heavily invested in the offensive side of the ball. Tua Tagovailoa has everything he needs to make plays. The most impressive numbers so far in Tua's career. A perfect 4-0 against the Patriots. He has never lost to Bill Belichick. Live in the newsroom, Trey Dare, 7 News 19.
We are tracking Hurricane Lee as it continues to move north-northeast, making landfall in Nova Scotia tomorrow afternoon, but grazing coastal New England in the morning hours. More on that and the rest of the 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence. Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. I'm making my own way forward. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Catch live local streaming TV, free at viewit.com or on the Viewit app. Stream content from your favorite stations here and across the country. Plus, watch exclusive events and original programming all in one place from your favorite device. Keep up to date with what's happening in your community with news, weather, prep sports, and more.
In today's Living Right, here's what you should do to up your workout routine.
Search View It in your app store and download for free today.
Tracking Hurricane Lee, and let's give you a live look in Orleans. There's that one little boat still out on the water with the storm incoming. No telling where it might end up by this time tomorrow.
And trees blowing right now in Bourne, winds picking up along the Cape Cod Canal tonight. Of course, our weather team has been busy tracking Lee for the past couple days now.
So it's coming, but we're really lucky that it's not like a direct hit. You still get the effects and kind of in and out of here, though.
It is, yeah. It'll move fast. It's moving fast now that the westerlies, the jet stream, starting to capture it and quickly pull that north, moving northeast over 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night at this time will be up here in the Bay of Fundy, so it's going to certainly move quick. And I think its window of opportunity to sideswipe us. It's beginning now, but more so just after midnight tonight through the morning hours tomorrow, and then we will see improvement tomorrow afternoon. Radar at this time showing the western flank of the storm, and these yellows and the oranges and the reds. Those are those feeder bands that they will rotate around the center of the storm. But that's also obviously where you find heavy rain, but that's also where you find pockets of strong, perhaps damaging wind. So it's been slow to move west. There has been a lot of dry air in New England today. That dry air came in yesterday, and it's firmly entrenched in New England now, which will help us out because it really chews away at the western edge of the advancing rain over the next several hours. Winds are still, even without the rain, winds are still gusting upwards of 30 to almost 45 miles per hour. In Nantucket, a gust of 43 miles per hour. And I do think wind and the coastal flood concern, those are the two components of the storm that we watch the most. So this is really more of a coastal thing than anywhere else. But farther inland, you notice the yellow shading here. I do think as you're going through the day tomorrow, you'll have an occasional gust upwards of 35 to 40 miles per hour. But for everyone, it'll certainly be a breezy day with the strongest winds focused on the coastline in the Cape, and also tomorrow morning. So mid and outer Cape and out toward Nantucket, winds will gust 50 to 60, an isolated gust between 60 and 70 miles per hour, certainly a possibility. Metro Boston, Cape Ann, North Shore, South Shore, all the way into portions of Bristol County, winds will gust 40, maybe 50 miles per hour, and then that will begin to subside throughout the afternoon. Coastal flood concern, we watch the two high tides. Right now, it looks like the 1 a.m. Saturday high tide might be a little more problematic than the 1 p.m. high tide on Saturday. I do think there will be pockets of moderate coastal flooding on the bay side of the Cape at that 1 a.m. high tide, as well as Nantucket. And then for the 1 p.m. high tide, it'd be pockets of minor coastal flooding. But recall that some of our powerhouse nor'easters, they can produce pockets of moderate and major coastal flooding, and we are not anticipating anyone to have major coastal flooding from this hurricane. In terms of the rain, that's the rain shield around 11 o'clock tonight, and it makes advancement into Metro Boston for a short time early tomorrow morning, but already by 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's peeling back out of here. So you're going to have off and on showers tomorrow morning in the metro, and then skies will slowly begin to clear out as we work toward tomorrow afternoon. How much rain is on the way? Looks like 1 to 2 inches of rain likely around the canal out toward Chatham, and I think for the 95 corridor, including Boston, just a couple of hit and miss lighter showers tomorrow morning with some sun in the afternoon. Sunday, let's not sleep on Sunday. Looks good. Mostly sunny skies, and it will be warm but not humid. Temperatures on Sunday close to 80 degrees, and another weather system inbound for Monday does not have a name, but that will produce scattered showers. In fact, if you're out toward Metro West and the Worcester Hills, that storm there on Monday will produce more rain than the hurricane will tomorrow. I think on Monday we're talking about a half an inch to an inch of rain across portions of southern New England. And then behind that weather system is smooth sailing for several days. See you in a few minutes.
JR, thank you. And ferry service is being suspended because of this wind situation that's coming. That includes the Steamship Authority and the MBTA ferries. And many people today making those last-minute trips to get out ahead of the storm. That team's Chris Rogers has more from them.
We changed our plans because of the hurricane. And actually, but we'll do it some other time.
Greg Jaron planned on spending his 60th birthday on the Cape, but one look at the forecast forced him to adjust.
Felt like it was probably better and to, not go into the middle of a hurricane.
Others are boarding the ferry and heading to the islands anyway, not concerned about the severe weather threat.
I live in Massachusetts, number one. Number two, 2 years ago, my friend and I traveled to the Vineyard in a bad storm, and it was awesome.
The Steamship Authority is warning people to plan on ferry service disruptions and cancellations throughout the weekend as some passengers scramble to get across before the weather moves in.
We stayed at my uncle's Cape House last night just so we could get an early ferry just in case. We were going to come from Palmer originally, but why risk 1:15 and then weddings at 5, all that mishap, and then you miss the ferry.
Whether they're wary of the weather or not fazed by the storm.
We've lived through a lot of storms up there, so not that much concern.
Passengers gearing up for a hectic weekend, waiting to see what Hurricane Lee will do. Not too worried, at least not yet.
Later, probably tonight. Saturday, anybody getting off? Good luck to you.
If you need to check the ferry schedule for the latest cancellations, we have a link for that right now on our website, WHDH.com. Reporting from Woods Hole, Chris Rogers, 7 News Night Team.
Coming up from the night team, wild weather hitting hard down south. New video shows the incredible rescue to get a driver out of deep trouble.
And we're hearing from the cave explorer saved from what seemed like certain death in Turkey.
And watching Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making my own way forward.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories. But I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
I remember the transition as my symptoms got worse, as my pulse was decreasing, as my blood pressure was decreasing, as it was harder to hold on to consciousness. I was in the range of I'm probably going to die.
We're hearing from the American explorer rescued from one of the world's deepest caves in Turkey. Crews saving him from that cave earlier this week.
He says while he was waiting for those heroes, he thought his time had run out. But now he's sharing an incredible story.
I was in the range of I'm probably going to die.
After 11 days stuck in that Turkish cave, an American researcher is finally free. In a rescue that required help from hundreds of people from 10 different countries, Mark Dickey is alive and well.
Definitely feeling much, much better than I have been. Every single day is a steady improvement.
Dickey became ill. He had gastrointestinal bleeding and lost a good deal of blood while mapping a cave in southern Turkey.
It was a crazy fast onset, dizziness, nausea, hot and cold.
His research team was more than 3,000 feet into the cave when Dickey's symptoms began.
It's a crazy thought to be that far underground, just thinking about how much rock, earth, and just everything that's piled on top of you and how far away from the surface you are.
His team quickly came up with a plan, and his fiancée, Jessica, navigated back up the cave to get help. When Jessica was gone, Dickey says this was when the symptoms were the worst.
I remember the transition as my symptoms got worse, as my pulse was decreasing, as my blood pressure was decreasing, as it was harder to hold on to consciousness.
He was carried most of the way back up the cave.
Once things started, I was very impressed by how quickly it went. There were virtually no breaks.
During the 60-hour ordeal, he was getting treatment, medicine, and a blood transfusion. And when he finally made it out of the cave and into the open air...
It was nighttime, but trust me, up there in that plateau where there is absolutely no light pollution, those stars they light things up.
And Dickey will continue to recover at the hospital in Turkey for the time being.
Coming up next at 7 Sports, the Patriots did not exactly spend top dollar whenever they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster, but it is a lot of money, and due to an injury concern, was Juju really the right call to invest in? Plus, the Red Sox making some big-time organizational changes. The High Blue experiment is over. Will that change the results in the present? Coming up next at 7 Sports.
And Washington Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making my own way forward.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories. But I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
The annual Prisoner of War and Missing in Action recognition ceremony held at Boston City Plaza this morning. Mayor Michelle Wu honoring those who have not been able to return home.
Today we are marking National POW MIA Recognition Day. And on this day and every day, we hold them in our hearts. We offer our deepest gratitude to them and to their families who carry this sacrifice every day.
Determination.
80,000 Americans are considered missing in action, about 3,000 of them from Massachusetts.
And now, time for 7 Sports.
with Trey Dale.
Only 10% of NFL teams that start the year 0-2 go on to make the playoffs. So the Pats at 0-1 make Sunday's showdown with the Dolphins pretty much feel like a must-win, with New England not having started 0-2 since 2001. Now keep in mind, they did win their first Super Bowl that year, so hey, glass half full here. Final practice of the week going down today. Trent Brown and Sidney So both remain out due to concussions, while John Jones missing his second straight practice with an ankle injury. David Andrews, however, was a full participant along that offensive front and has been removed from the injury report. 6 Patriots listed as questionable for Sunday's game. 3 starters on the offensive line are among them. Juju Smith-Schuster not listed, despite his reports recently that his recently surgically repaired knee is not fully recovered. Juju himself offering up a first-hand opinion on exactly how he's feeling today.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's 100%. I've been working on it every day. It's nice, being here and, finding a nice routine of getting it stronger every single day to go out there to perform. I feel good, man. I'm excited for this week. I feel like we practiced really hard throughout this whole week, put our offense together to go out there and perform. And you just got to keep pushing.
Juju and the Patriots offense will have to deal with the Dolphins defense that did not live up to its potential 1 week ago, getting gashed for 433 yards, including 233 on the ground in their Week 1 win over the Chargers. New Miami defensive coordinator Vic Fangio taking the blame this week for not having his guys prepared. So the Patriots are going to expect a much better effort come Sunday.
Really, Miami, I think they're a really good front, so it's going to be a big challenge. Christian Wilkins leads the league in tackles every year from the D tackle position, so really good run player, really good front against the run, so it'll be a big challenge.
They're really good up front. They got everybody, back pretty much, and it's always been a big challenge going against these guys. They're definitely one of the top defenses, in my opinion.
Chaim Bloom traded away a generational talent. He slashed payroll, he improved the farm system, and the Red Sox were relatively competitive at his time. Don't be fooled. None of that was his idea. He was told to do all of it, Chaim or no Chaim. Unless there is a philosophical change in the organization, I'm not exactly sure how much things will change. Red Sox and Blue Jays opening up a 3-game set north of the border in Toronto. Brian Bayo, certainly part of the future. Bayo, 1 blemish all night long, coming right here in the third, serving one up to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Guerrero touching a 3-run shot out the left, number 23 on the year, just like that. Toronto takes a 3-0 lead. Bayo would settle things down, though, striking out Matt Chapman to end his night here. Bayo going 6 innings, 3 earned runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, career high 10 strikeouts, 101 pitches on the night for the right-hander, but he is outmatched by Jose Barrios, Toronto starter. 7 scoreless innings, giving up 5 hits, striking out 8. Red Sox dropping game 1 of the weekend set to the Blue Jays 3-0. And week 1 did not go well for the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, but help is on the way. A holdout in Chris Jones and an injured Travis Kelce will both play Sunday against Jacksonville. That's sports.
Thanks, Trey. We are tracking Hurricane Lee tonight, but first, that's a real thing. A stunning view of the sky in Hyannis before this storm. The setting sun just putting that pink shade through the clouds over the horizon.
Nature's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Beautiful.
It sure is, and then it can get a little feisty.
It is, and we're tracking Lee tonight. In fact, let's take some live pictures right now here in Nantucket, where the rain is starting to come down a little bit. The winds have been picking up. It's kind of tough to tell from that shot there, but it is moving in here, JR.
Yeah, it is, and it will start to go downhill pretty quick here just after midnight tonight, certainly Nantucket first. Winds gusting upwards of 40, 45 miles per hour. Nantucket gust of 43 miles per hour. Provincetown gust of 35. The Vineyard gusting to 31. Josh just put this list together, just sampling some of the wind out there. Chappaquiddick gust of 52. Nantucket 47. Cisco Beach on Nantucket 47. So the numbers are going up, and that's going to be the case, I think, overnight tonight and tomorrow morning. So tomorrow we do have the effects of Lee, even though the center of the storm is offshore. It's a side swipe here in coastal New England. Sunday is a fantastic day. Lots of sunshine, temps in the upper 70s. These tropical systems, think of them as big heat engines. So they move through, but they put a lot of heat up into the atmosphere. And typically the day after a hurricane or a tropical storm, you'll get a day like Sunday where you have a lot of sunshine and it's warm. It won't be we're not pushing the temps near 90. There's not high humidity, but that certainly is above normal for this time of year. Monday, another weather system in here, does not have a name, and that will produce scattered showers. Temps on Monday around 70. Patriots forecast, it's a night game Sunday evening. Tailgate looks good, mid-70s. Kickoff, low 60s, and there will be no humidity, so it'll feel great down there at Gillette. BC Eagles football tomorrow, kickoff at noon. A few scattered showers winding down, taking on Florida State, and I think you'll have some sun as you get to the end of the game with a gusty wind with temperatures in the mid-60s. And Woosocks game tonight was okay. Saturday, again, not much rain in Worcester at all at any time. You'll have partial clearing in the afternoon, and Sunday looks outstanding. Lots of sunshine. Temps on Sunday afternoon out at Polar Park in the mid-70s.
A major transformation is on the horizon for part of Dorchester. It's the Dorchester Bay City project approved by the Boston Planning and Development Agency. It's on the site of the old Bayside Expo Center. The developer plans new apartments, parks, and business areas. The project is expected to create between 13,000 and 17,000 jobs and offer more affordable housing to that area.
The Big E kicking off in West Springfield. The fair has been a New England staple for more than 100 years. Along with the rise, visitors can expect a variety of foods from across New England, as well as games, shopping, concerts, and so much more. The Big E will run until October 1st. And the night team will be right back.
The Patriots look to get their first win of the season Sunday night against the Dolphins.
We'll have all the highlights and reaction to the matchup with Miami.
Well, being prepared is a key step in responding to a natural disaster, the best way to help seniors be ready for emergencies.
A few showers to start the work week, then sun and comfortable temperatures. We'll have your full forecast.
We hope you join us Monday on 7 News Today in New England.
We get started at 5 o'clock and stay on till 11 a.m.
Watching Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence.
Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making my own way forward.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories. But I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
While weather in Atlanta leaves a man trapped in his car.
Hey, step away. Go ahead, step away. Turn your head. Turn your head. Turn your head.
This dramatic rescue video shows a police officer and a firefighter trying to get the man out. Police say The water was so deep that the car doors would not open. The officer was able to use his baton there to break the window. Seconds later, they were able to pull that man out. And a severe thunderstorm hit Atlanta on Thursday, causing flash flooding in the city's downtown area. Several vehicles were swept away in that flooding. The mayor's office says the city received 3 hours worth of rain in just 15 minutes in some areas there.
And now to Montgomery County, Texas, where a truck weighing approximately 20 tons crushed that wooden bridge. The bridge is marked with a 4-ton weight limit, and it's gone. Truck was loaded with concrete, some of which leaked into the water below. Law enforcement says they cannot ticket the driver because the bridge is privately owned. But apparently everybody's lawyering up.
Exactly. Tonight team will be right back.
Moving forward with node-positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it and did all I could to prevent recurrence. Verzenio reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer with a high chance of returning, as determined by your doctor when added to hormone therapy. Hormone therapy works outside the cell, while Verzenio works inside to help stop the growth of cancer cells. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. I'm making my own way forward. Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means I cherish my memories. But I don't just look back on them. I look forward to the chance to make new ones every day with Verzenio.
Verzenio is proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant. Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
I'm making future memories every day with Verzenio.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
And watch in Moscow always get the mule. Vodka this good is an American jewel. Wheatley, so good I drink it neatly.
And we continue to track Hurricane Lee tonight, inching closer here to New England. Let's take a live look right now in Orleans. You can see the rain has started coming down. The wind is picking up there here in Orleans. It's taking out in Nantucket, where the rain is also coming down. Live picture here downtown Nantucket. You can see the wind blowing. The rain is coming down. We have crews all over the area, and that is our time for tonight. For 7 News at 9 o'clock, I'm Ryan Schulteis.
I'm Kim Casey. Much more to come on 7 News at 10. Hope you join us. Otherwise, have a safe and good weekend, and good night.
Moving